is
half
extremely
semicircle,
important.
and under it a
Don't
dot.
go to the next unit unless and until you have full large straight line. Yes, you have understood that unit. Because that unit provides the ring, a very strong chain, which has been made. If one ring is weak, 8 letters, the chain will break.
Straight lines.
Very clever. Letters
Letters of Arabic.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Children, Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah. We have learned in last 2 lessons, Alhamdulillah, how to read and how to make 28 Arabic letters with a circle and a straight line. There is another thing which is quite interesting. I would like to let you know. During the 4th century of Hijrah, there was a very good katib, writer, a scribe, who used to write this calligraphy. Nice. And his name was Bawab. And he was regarded as father of Arabic calligraphy. He has presented a very good method, invented a very good method. And right from the time of this invention, throughout the centuries, people, those who write beautiful Arabic script, they follow that method. And he maintained that with 7 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 7 dots, one can make all these letters. So if one is going to measure, if you take a thread like this, and if you measure, all of them have got 7 dots. Interesting, isn't it? Yes. And Bawab, during his lifetime, till his death, actually did the calligraphy of the Quran only. Alhamdulillah. Now today, inshallah, we are going to learn how to articulate, how to pronounce these letters. Because these letters are very important. And as you know, that the person of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam received the revelation from Allah. Sayyidina Jibreel brought the revelation. And the way he heard Jibreel reciting, he recited. And his recitation has been followed throughout the generations. Are you not interested to know and to learn and try to bring the same pronunciation as these were recited by the person of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Are you interested to know? Yes, very good. And it's very easy. It's not difficult. A little concentration will help us to articulate as Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam articulated. Now, as you have seen that we have divided these letters into a number of groups. And this particular division, as you can see, has been made because of what? Because of the similarity in the shape. Now, we are going to bring these letters in other groups. And these groups are based on how to recite. What similarity is there between these letters whenever we recite? So, the first group was based on what?
On the similarity of their shape.
On the similarity of their shape. Excellent answer. I'm very happy. Now, we are changing the groupings of these letters. Why we are changing? Because they are not the same when we articulate them, when we recite them. So we change these groups according to what? According to the recitation, according to the articulation. All right. Let us first of all try to see that in Arabic there are 3 long vowels. That is a. I showed you the duration before. A. And then if we make 2 together, and then E, and then O, U. So, A, E, U. They are sounds, aren't they? They are sounds. Now, Arabs call them as sick. Why they call them sick? Because whenever a person is sick and that person is in pain, then how that person shows his pain? Either he says, ah, ee, ooh, ah, ee, ooh. Am I right? Yeah. So it shows what? It shows the signs of what? Sickness. Sickness. But these are sounds are very important, isn't it? These sounds are very important. So, how are you going to measure, for example, this sound? A, E, O, O. All right? Fine. So, this is what? Now here, just see. A, E, U. Group 1 is composed of these 3 sounds, which I have presented to you. That is what? A, E, U. You know how babies cry? Babies cry. A, E, U. A, E, U. Isn't it? So, babies actually cry in Arabic long vowels. Allah has given us 2 lips. Fine. Now, if you are careful about these lips, just see that upper lip, lower lip. Now, upper lip and lower lip has got dry portion. This is dry, isn't it? And both lips have got what? Wet portion inside, which is wet. Wet, dry. Wet, dry. The same. Dry, wet. Isn't it? Where we find the wet portion? Inside our mouth. Inside our mouth. So, for the articulation of these letters, what actually we need? We need, first of all, our 2 lips. Are you convinced? We need our 2 lips. Then we need our tongue. All of you have got your tongues? Did you bring with you here? Or did you leave your home? Are they with you? Check. All right, they are with you. Very good. So we need 2 lips and tongue and 2 arches of teeth. Feel with your tongue your 2 arches. They are there, isn't it? Aren't they? Yes, they are there. 2 arches of teeth. The first arch is what? Upper and lower. upper and lower. Good, good, excellent, excellent. And what else we need? This mouth cavity, inside of the mouth. Inside of the mouth, which is known as what? Mouth cavity. So we need mouth cavity as well. We also need, for the articulation of these 28 letters of Arabic, the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity. What? The portion which is there inside the nose. Inside the nose. Which is known as what? Nasal cavity. So what you need? You see lips, tongue, two arches of teeth, mouth cavity, and nasal cavity so far. And nasal cavity so far. All right? Nasal cavity. Now, you may wonder, what is the function of this nasal cavity? You can understand the need for mouth cavity, isn't it? Inside mouth, you can understand that whenever we speak, we use this mouth cavity, isn't it? Mouth cavity we use. So what is the need for this nasal cavity? Look now, very carefully, look at to my face. Just see now. Look, I'm making sound from my nasal cavity. With what? Nasal cavity. Now look how melodious this sound will be. Oh, you enjoyed. Now, you see, so this nasal cavity is important, isn't it? Because it makes what?
Sound.
It makes melodious sound. Good. Fine. So we need this nasal cavity. We also need what? Our throat. Our throat. This throat. And that is known as gutter. Just see here. Gutter. Throat. Our throat. And this throat is divided into three parts. The uppermost part is number one, then the middle part, and the final part. So this gutter is divided into what? Into three parts. Three parts. And all these three parts are needed. So altogether, how many things do we need for the articulation, for the recitation of these 28 letters of Arabic alphabet? Yes?
Lips, two arches of teeth, mouth, nasal cavity,
Yes, good.
mouth cavity,
Mouth cavity,
tongue,
tongue,
throat.
throat. Yes, very good. Very nice. So, these are the things which are required for the articulation of these 28 Arabic letters. So now, let us try to look at our group 2. Group 2 are known as labial letters. And these labial letters are 4. That is, ba, ma, wa, fa. Let us first of all take what? Ba. Ba. And the best method in order to know from where the sound comes is to make it sakin, ba, and apply a. As you can look at here. We are applying a after making ba sakin. So it will become what? Ab. 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 Now, when we articulate this ab, our two lips are involved. Are you with me? we are using both our lips. We are using both our lips. So let us see, when the wet portions of the lips meet and then separate while pronouncing the letter. So how are you going to articulate b, ab, ab, ab? The wet portion of the two lips meet together. Ab, 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 ab. Now, coming to the next labial letter, which is m. M. Now, in the case of articulation of m, what happens? The dry portion of the two lips meet together. And the best method is what? To make it suck in and apply what? A before. So, it will become what? So, ab, I wonder whether you have seen little babies. First of all, they cry in long vowels, isn't it? A, E, U. And after some time, they start using their two lips. And what word they make? Either they say mum, 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 ba, 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 mum, 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 ba, 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 ba. Am I right?
Yes.
That's what the babies do. And then the mothers and fathers become very much pleased, isn't it? So they start using their two lips. Two lips. So this is the reason why these are known as what? Labial letters. And in the second lesson, if you remember, I did inform you how to articulate, how to pronounce wa. You make your two lips round and then open. Wa, 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 wa. So the more you are going to make your two lips round and open it and just breathe out, wa, wa, wa. So the more it will become what? The more it will become correct. So are you convinced that our third letter wa is also labial letters in which two lips are involved? Are you convinced about it? Yes. So that wa is also a labial letter. That is the third one. Now let us try to take the final one. And that is what? Fa. And the best method to articulate, to pronounce it, and to find out from where this fa comes out is to make it what? Quiescent. To make it sucking. And apply a. So if I make it sucking, af, af, af. Now, just try to see. For the pronunciation of fa, what is happening now? The upper incisors the edge of upper incisors touches what? The dry portion of the lower lip. Af, af, af. So are you convinced that this is also a labial letter, isn't it? Yes, good. So tell me now about this ba. Is it labial letter? In which lips are involved, isn't it? Lips are involved. And what about ma? Yes. And what about wa? Yes. And what about fa? Yes. Now, you are going to let me know how are we going to articulate, pronounce, and what is the place of origin of the letter ba. Who can let me know? Come on, who can let me know? Raise your hand. Who can let me know how to articulate, how to pronounce the letter ba? Ba. Ab. Listen very carefully. Ab. Ab. What happens when the wet portions of the lips. And then you just breathe out. Ab, ab. You breathe out. Ab, ab, ab. All right. Then how are you going to articulate? Ma. Come on. Who can let me know? Yes? Good. Then what happens?
The two dried portions meets together.
Yes, the dried portions of the lips meet together. And in the case of wa, what is happening now? In the case of wa, come on.
We make our lips round.
Round. And then we open it by breathing out, isn't it? Wa, wa, wa. You see, the children, the more we are going to make our lips round, the more the sound of wa will be correct. Now, who can tell me how to articulate fa? Now that, yes, how to articulate fa?
The teeth has to touch the dry part of
Lower lip, isn't it? Lower lip. Yes, fa. And then breathe out. F, F, F. Now let us go back. When just make it sakin, ba, ma, wa, and fa, and try to articulate. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let me first articulate, and then you should follow. Now you know how to articulate these 4 letters. Which are these letters? Labial letters. These actually come from what? Lips, in which 2 lips are heavily involved. So, I'm articulating, and if you could follow. Ab, 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 ow, 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 f, f, f. Good. Now, we have so far learned how many groups? 2. The first group is what? Aerial letters. These are only sounds, aren't they? What are the sounds? A, E, U. A, E, U. Very good. These are aerial letters. Are they difficult? No. And then second group is what? Labial letters. Wonderful, daughter. Labial letters. Why we call them labial letters?
Because they come from lips.
So we call them as what? Labial letters. 2 lips are heavily involved in the articulation of these letters. So this is the reason why they are known as what? Labial letters. Labial letters. Good. And how many labial letters are there?
4.
4. Which are they? Yes? Ba, ma, wa, fa. Excellent. So today, in this lesson, alhamdulillah, we have learned how to articulate 2 groups of letters. The aerial letters, a, E, U, and the labial letters, that is ab, ow, f. So that's how we learn. And are you interested to learn more? The other groups? All right, inshallah, next time when we meet, we are going to learn the other groups. And then we are going to articulate as Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam recited, articulated. Are you interested? Yes. So, barakallah fi.